First of all, I would like to thank each and every one of you for paying their respects to our dad, Bryan D. Wilson Sr. The people that attended last night and that are here today, it's a true sign of how much our dad was respected and loved. When I was sitting at my dad's bedside late Sunday night before he passed, I decided to get a notebook and write down as many good memories of him as I could. I think it was at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I ended up finishing around 5. I just spent hours and hours writing and writing. I shed a few tears, but I managed to have a few laughs. My mom, Millie Golden, and my dad were married in 1966. They lived in Philadelphia, and my mom was close to her job working for the Philadelphia Phillies. And we're really sorry that they're having such a bad year, Dad. In 1967, Bryan Jr. arrived, and they remained in Northeast Philadelphia for 1 year. My parents' friends, Mick and Josie Myers, told them about a great little town to buy a house. Soon after, they settled in Riverside, New Jersey. My Uncle Mick shared a story a few weeks ago at him and my Aunt Joe's anniversary party. He shared it with Bryan and I had to share this with you. Mick invited Bryan to go hunting, and my dad had a dentist appointment. So my Uncle Mick decided to call the house, disguise his voice, and inform my mom that the appointment was canceled. Back then, no caller ID, no answering machines. Bryan and Mick enjoyed a great day of hunting, and the next day my mom got a phone call from the dentist asking why my dad never made the appointment. Of course, she chimed in a little, but at least the two friends enjoyed their day of hunting. I arrived in 1971. And one story that my dad always told me is about the night that I was born. My dad was working at Inductotherm on the night shift. My mom called and told my dad she needed to get to the hospital because I was going to be coming soon. By the time my dad got home, he decided to take a quick shower, and the phone rang. It was the doctor. He said, "Congratulations, Mr. Wilson, on the birth of your baby girl." Our parents owned Wilson's General Store on Bridgeburg Street for many years and enjoyed having the store. Of course, Bryan and I liked it because we got of all the free food and the candy. In 1988, my parents decided to open up a restaurant on Pavilion Avenue in Riverside. They called it Millie's because she was the best cook. And this sign over here, the Millie's restaurant sign, is the original sign from the restaurant. We had many good memories there, especially interacting with all the great customers, having many Thanksgiving dinners in the restaurant, and also getting all the free food. My dad opened Millie's every morning at 5 o'clock and made the coffee for the local customers. And then he would let the waitress come in at 6 o'clock. So that 1 hour from 5 to 6 was his hour to just sit around and have coffee and BS a lot. He didn't cook too much. He mostly did the shopping and lots of dishes. He was known as the dishwasher. But he was known for his famous sausage gravy over biscuits. My parents always made sure to close the restaurant by 3 p.m. every day so that they could come watch my brother play soccer and my field hockey and softball games. They never ever missed a game. My parents sold Millie's in 1993 and bought a house on Lippincott Avenue in Riverside. They enjoyed their home, sharing their lives with each other, and also with the family dog, Marley. It was actually, her ashes will be buried with my dad. He said, make sure Marley goes down with me. So we took care of that. In 1995, our mother, Millie, died suddenly, but we all took it very hard. With the support of our friends and family, my dad, Bryan, and I got through it. Over the years, my dad worked various jobs, but the one job he loved was driving a truck. My dad loved to be on the road. He loved driving that brown Ford van that we all loved to be in. He used to drive 6 hours to North Adams, Massachusetts to watch my brother play college soccer. Then he would take him out to dinner and arrive back home the next morning. Bryan just told me the other day that during one game there was bad weather. One of Bryan's teammates came over to him and said, "Man, your dad's the only fan here today." It just goes to show you how much he loved his son. My dad was married to Kim Wilson for a few years, and my dad had many good memories with her and her children, Rob and Christy. My dad's plan after retiring for driving a truck for Meredith Paving in 2009 was to buy an RV and just cruise the country. My best friend even gave him an RV book for his journey at his retirement lunch. He loved his Susie Q. Before moving into the mansion, my dad got to live with his niece Debbie for a few months. He enjoyed his time there and loved her like a second daughter. They shared a very special bond. Deb and I were talking the other night about funny things, and one of our favorites is whenever my dad was craving something good to eat, he would take his finger and he would scratch the bottom of his chin and he would say, you know what I'm in the mood for? And then we didn't know what was coming next. Unfortunately, the RV plan did not happen, but my dad was able to get an apartment at the Zerberg Mansion in Delanco, overlooking the beautiful Delaware River. He loved that place. He enjoyed all of his friends there. He enjoyed fishing. He enjoyed his morning coffee and donut. Chocolate cruller was his favorite from L&M Bakery. My brother and I talked the other day about how we wish he could have stayed there longer. My dad had heart surgery in April to help him get better, and unfortunately he just developed too many infections, and in the end it cost him his life. He had many setbacks, and he was determined to get better. He is no longer suffering and died peacefully when Bryan and I were at his bedside. We got to spend my dad's final days with him, and he wanted to make sure that Bryan and I would be okay. I know Bryan and I will be okay because we have a great family and we have so many wonderful and supportive friends. My brother and I will make sure to look out for each other because that's what siblings are supposed to do. One thing my dad told me before he passed was not to be sad for a long time. And I said, well, Dad, I promise for you I won't be sad for too long. But I promise to honor your memory, and I will always keep you in my heart. My dad loved being a father-in-law to Josephine, a brother to Sissy and baby Richie, the late Robert and Jay, and a special brother to Aunt Mary. He most loved being a pop-pop to Samantha, Kelly, and Michael. He enjoyed spending time with them kids, watching his granddaughters dancing recitals and fishing with the little guy along the river. Every time my dad would come to visit Michael and I, Michael would be waiting by the door, and he knew that there was a white box, and it had a donut and a cupcake from L&M Bakery. Bryan and I now have two amazing guardian angels watching over us. Our dad is with his beloved Millie, and I am sure he is on his 10th bowl of rice pudding by now. In conclusion, always remember Big Bryan for his laughter, his funny stories, his caring ways, but most important, his love for so many of you. He was a wonderful husband, father-in-law, brother, uncle, friend, and most important, our dad. He was our hero. He was our pops. I leave you with this quote. Love is stronger than death, even though it can't stop death from happening. But no matter how hard death tries, it can't separate people from love. It can't take away our memories either. In the end, life is stronger than death. We hope you had the time of your life, Dad, and we will always love you. May you now rest in peace with our mom, Millie. Thank you.